Guys, today we are making pesto. This is my personal pesto recipe. It may not have all the traditional components, but it has a personal touch. I've been using this recipe for last 4 years and all my friends and family simply love it. So I hope you like it. Let's start with the ingredients. So for pesto, as you all know, we need basil. So here I have like about a cup of fresh basil, roughly chopped, and a handful of parsley. If you don't have parsley, you can just use basil and it should work. And then of course you need nuts. So here I have pine nuts, and traditionally it's always made with pine nuts, but I like to add some walnuts. And here I have 60 grams of pine nuts and maybe 15 grams of walnuts. I'm not going to use all of these in the pesto. I'll save some for the garnish later on. And then you need cheese. So here I have grated grana padano cheese. So traditionally it's made with Parmigiano Reggiano. I like the flavor I get with grana padano, but you can use Parmesan cheese if you like it. So, or you can do, which I do sometimes, which is mix and match both the cheeses. So I use half of Parmigiano and half of grana padano. And here I have a clove of garlic and green chili, my personal touch. So I have de-seeded the green chili because I like to add some heat but not too much, so I have just de-seeded the green chili. But you can skip the green chili if you don't like your pesto too hot. And of course lemon in the end to flavor, and salt, pepper, and of course the most important thing, lots of olive oil. So the first thing we have to do is we have to roast the pine nuts and walnuts. So let's start doing that first. So we have to dry roast the nuts. So here you will know when to stop, because these nuts will, especially the pine nuts, will actually start turning their color to brown, and you will actually get a very nice aroma. So that's when you know that you are ready. It's very important for you to dry roast the nuts. It actually brings out the flavors. And one important thing, once the nuts are roasted, you have to cool them down before you actually use them in your pesto. If you just use them as it is, the warm nuts, then you will actually get like a nut butter. So first heat them up so that they actually release some nice oils and you get the flavors, and then you have to cool them down before you actually use them in your pesto. So as you see, the pine nuts have actually started turning brown. I wish you could smell from the video. And I think another 10 seconds and we are good to go. Okay, let's turn it off and wait for the nuts to cool down. In the meanwhile, we can actually go to the food processor and move all the ingredients that we need close to where all the action is. So let's transfer our greens in the food processor. And our green chili and garlic. So one thing is that you can just add everything in one go, but the right way to do it is that you add the greens and the garlic and the green chili first, give them a whirl, and then you add the pine nuts and mix everything together, and you don't add the oil and the cheese right away. So oil we will just add gradually. I'll show you how to add the oil. Okay, with one quick mix, now we can add the pine nuts and the walnuts. Not all of them, as I said, we have to save some for the garnish. So one thing about pesto is you actually keep it very chunky. You don't, make it into a fine paste. So this is how it looks like right now. As we mix it, churn them all together in the food processor, we start adding oil gradually in a stream. So this is how it looks like. So the reason we actually add the oil in a stream is so that the oil actually emulsifies properly. If you actually just add the oil with rest of the ingredients and just give it a whirl in the food processor, what happens? The oil will split later on. And let's see. This is how it looks like. One final round and then we should be done. So now the most important part, which is flavoring. We have to add salt, pepper, cheese and lemon juice. So one thing about cheese, if you are going to use your pesto immediately, then I would recommend that you can just add the cheese as soon as the pesto is ready. Or if you want to preserve your pesto for longer, then what you can do is you just take this paste, add salt, pepper and just keep it like that, and whenever you are ready to serve, you just add your cheese. You don't have to actually use the food processor when you mix the cheese. You can do that by hand. So I have now transferred the paste that we made in the food processor into this bowl, and as I said, I add the cheese first. Okay, we will add some, this is salt, some black pepper for seasoning, a bit of lemon juice. Actually this is lime, so you can add either lime or lemon juice. Add some pine nuts. Pesto can get oxidized if you just leave it like this. So whenever you are storing it either on your counter or in your refrigerator, you actually take a plastic wrap, cling wrap, and wrap it very close to the surface so that it doesn't get oxidized. You can have it with the toast or you can use it as a pasta sauce. Usually when I make pesto, I just cling wrap it and leave it in the refrigerator for about half an hour so that the flavors come together. But today I'm hungry and I have some crackers here. So just for the taste, let me check how it tastes. Okay. This is so good. Guys, try this and I hope you will love the recipe.